Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before I do begin, let me say a few things. Over on my community tab, there are 4 polls for a What If tournament. Now, my friend Blaze Hollow of the Blessed Heroes helped me set up the ideas and get them somewhat categorized. If you guys are interested, go over on my community tab and check that out and vote on it. I'm hoping that whenever that does reach 1,000 votes on each one, I move them all into a final and 5th poll. There's a Chainsaw Man Deku, a Gojo's Descendant, a Joker, a Spawn, a Batman, and there's also a Sukuna's Descendant. Now, there's also Moon Knight over there, for anyone who wants to see me do a take on that. Now, with that all being said, go over there and please cast your votes. And if you guys can all at least do me a solid, at least go check out my friend Blaze's channel, The Blessed Heroes. Now, with all that being said, let me start. Now, to all those who have seen the mini shot, let's start from scratch. We'll start with Izuku Midoriya. Izuku is a boy born in Japan, and whenever he was born, they tried to test him to see if he was quirked or whether or not he could possibly possess mutant genes. And they even had the idea to test him for inhuman genes. However, those last two things, you don't really get answers until puberty, or possible pterogenesis, as some of you may know. Now, with that being said, Izuku was found to be a normal child, a normal human baby. And whenever he did grow up at the age of 4, they found that Izuku has no quirk. Now, obviously this does mean a lot for Izuku. And things, they are definitely not easy for a boy who has no superpowers. However, Deku, he knew from the start Bakugo Katsuki was not his friend. He knew when Bakugo started to change his personality and tone that Bakugo, he was not a good person. Bakugo dreams of being the #1 hero one day and being somebody who is on top of the world. However, Deku can tell. With his attitude, he's more than likely to end up as a villain. And that does mean quite a bit. Now, we do actually have Izuku, who, while he was still the age of 4, a lot was happening with his parents. Hisashi works over in New York City, and living in New York and trying to talk to your wife, it's not easy whenever you're across the world. So, this put a bit of a strain on their marriage. And eventually Inko, she had to decide about one thing. Possibly, well, taking some time with Izuku overseas and taking him to go see his father, and possibly check out New York, and trying to figure out how to possibly sell their home in Japan. Hasashi's talked about it, and Inko herself is warming up to the idea of moving here, living here, making sure their family can stay together and her marriage with Hisashi can survive. I mean, Hisashi's had sleepless nights, he's had breakdowns, and he's even felt isolated from his family. And that has not been easy for the man. Now, whenever Deku he was enrolled in school, a lot of people started to take notice to a few things. Izuku's exceptionally talented, and some other kids even mistake him for having an intelligence quirk. However, Izuku, he shows no signs of it. At least not in the DNA. And this somewhat surprised Inko. Her son was a genius, and that certainly does mean quite a lot. Now, Izuku, eventually whenever he started to get older, he saw heroes and how they did things. He saw Hulk, he saw Thor, and he even saw somebody he looks up to. Somebody who he can actually see as, well, a proper hero. Because he's just a guy in a suit of armor. And that has been quite a lot. Izuku, he wants to be just like Tony Stark. Maybe one day the two will meet in the business world. Maybe Izuku will start his own company and shake hands with a man. The two might meet, or one of his ideas could get off the ground, not just in that manner of speaking. Maybe he could help build the world of tomorrow. And that's on Izuku's mind. Izuku, he's even had an idea before. It sounds cheesy, but he was a kid. He tried drawing his own Iron Man suit design. He just loved the hero. And he got more and more in depth with things. And he started to understand quite a lot about how to simply just not only build machines, but possibly how to, well, do other things. And that says quite a bit. Now, Izuku, he was enrolled into many schools and many programs. And people, they had their eye on him. Deku, he wants to build machines. And that is quite apparent whenever he was at the age of 12 years old and built a machine that he really shouldn't have been able to. He showed that he could work with his hands. And Inko and Hasashi, they sort of had to pay for the damages that were involved there. Now, we currently have Deku, at the age of 14, who right now has a lot going through his head. He wants to drop designs for something else to build. Maybe try and actually help out with his intelligence. I mean, the world's a crazy place, and weird things have happened. So there is that. Though, what can he do? There's Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards. The man's one of the smartest men on the planet. And then there's Iron Man, Tony Stark. But there's also other people out there. He's just a little intimidated. These guys are heroes. I mean, Mr. Fantastic has powers, but Tony, Iron Man, Iron Man, he makes the situation fit himself. He doesn't adapt to change it. He adapts the situation around him, just like it's a suit of armor. And that, he can understand. Be prepared and try to be ready for anything. And that was going through Deku's mind. As John Hideaki could hear a loud explosion in the distance. Him still saw walking, as he does have his headphones in. Right now him bringing his head up and turning. Him pulling off one of his headphones as he turns his head. As General Iron Man is crashing into a building and sliding down the side of it. Him going to hand onto the ground and slide. Him going to lay there. And Tony, he does a turn. Right now, him going to start trying to sit back up as his arc reactor doesn't have the power go down. And Deku does it to watch Iron Man fall back down to the ground, limp. Now, Izuku's a lot more alarmed. And right now he's going to run over and bend down. Him trying to ask if Iron Man's still alive in there. Now, Iron Man doesn't groan. And Deku has a turn staring at Tony's suit. And he does start to have the gears whirl in his head. What he's simply just staring at. I mean, metal plates on a frame and just, okay. Tony Stark is right in front of him. This is the Iron Man suit. Deku bringing his hand down and running it along the metal chest plate. As I turn to look at the arc reactor, which is not glowing. You're out of power. Tell me there's something I don't know, kid. I'll get you out of there. Are you okay? I could be better. Though, you mind telling me where I am? New York? I meant where specifically. Oh, I don't really know. I mean, the street's a little busy, but listen, your arc reactor's not on, and your armor's really bad. Can you activate emergency power? Do anything? Dead in the water, kid. Though, can you do me a favor? Get you out of there? I was gonna say call a friend. Now, Deku, here's a pull at his phone, dialing the number that Tony is to tell him as I turn and grabbing his bag. Now, Deku, he could actually grab some of his tools and pull them out. Right now, him going to actually bring up a wrench and going to get ready. Him going to look down and stare at it for a minute. Him going to pop off the piece as he does it, going to stare at the armor. Him is going to try and move around and inspect it more and more. As Deku is going to finally find what he's looking for. Him turning back to his kit, as there actually is the phone, which did not get a, well, answer from Pepper. And Pepper, whenever she saw an unknown number, she hung up and went back to work. However, there actually was a minute later, where her phone got buzzed again, and she hung up. And then again, and she hung up again. This time her thinking about blocking the number. However, when it called a fourth time, she just won't answer it. And around Tony, he does somewhat sit there. Him with the faceplate off, as Izuku, he currently is trying to get the breastplate off of the armor. And Pepper's a lot more alarmed, especially hearing Tony's voice, trying to ask about exactly where is he. Pepper, that's a long story. Listen, God. Right now my armor's off. You know what that means? Oh God. Okay, what is it? Knew I could count on you. My lab. Access code command A357B8-C. Okay, can you repeat that a little bit slower? Now, Deku does look up, and Tony will go to repeat it, as Pepper does go to walk out of her office. Right now Izuku, so I'm going to sit there. And I'm going to actually pull off the plate as he does actually turn and bend down. Him setting aside the destroyed piece as he was trying to ask Mr. Stark a question. So, what now? Kid, listen. You're trying to get me out of the suit. I can help. Listen, I'm smarter than I look. I'm not just some kid. So that's what it's like being on the other side of that. Are you alright? I'm fine. What's your name, kid? Zuki Midoriya. Why? Listen. A part of my arm. Can you open up the plate? Where? The bend? Yeah, the bend. Listen, kid. There's a lot I don't have a lot of time to talk about. Once Pepper enters that code, a phrase, I'll have an evac team for me. They'll come pick me up and help me out. Though, what's your name? Izuku. Midoriya. Right. Listen, kid. You live here in New York? I do. Yeah. Why? Just making small talk. So, you're pretty good with tech. I am. I, I've learned a lot. I've sort of had to. Technopath? No. Really? Uh, gadget quirk? No. Quirkless. Now, Tony does want to stare at Izuku. And right now, he does have an idea. He has already been doing the math in his head. How long it might take them to get here, how long his power source has been out, and how long exactly it might take for him to recharge the thing in his chest. Plus, there's already the damage he suffered earlier. He's gonna be out. He's not gonna survive. And Tony? He knows that. While he was laying there for a second, he already had to try and make peace. With everything going on, it's been a little hectic and crazy. And right now, well, he's got nothing. And he's concerned. People need Iron Man. Iron Man is a hero. And he helps a lot of people. And this boy here looks up to him. He can tell. the way his expression lit up whenever he saw him, whenever he took off that helmet. It means a lot. And Tony, he does have one idea. He tries to talk more with Izuku and see how the boy is. And there currently is where Tony Stark robots to come flying down. Right now, one of them gonna bend down and bring their hand up and over the arc reactor. Them going to actually plug something in from their hand onto it. And Tony, he does go to sit there. Right now, I'm gonna start feeling his suit power up as he does. He's gonna bring his hand up. Him goes to stand, and right now he has a turn directly to his robot. Him gonna say a command phrase as the robot's a little surprised. And Tony, he has a turn. Right now the robot going to actually turn its own head and stare at Izuku for a second. It's going to go to turn back and now grab onto Tony Stark as they go flying up into the air and take Tony away. And Deku, he does actually stare up at that. Right now, him going to actually turn and look down at the faceplate they left behind. Now, Deku's going to walk over and bend down to grab it. Him picking it up and staring at it. Well, that was interesting. Though, did he mean to leave this behind? A souvenir from his favorite hero. Deku turning it over and seeing a signature, along with what is that? Now, Deku, he does stare at it for a second before he does put it into his backpack and go back home. And Inko, yeah, whenever she does gonna try and talk to Izuku, she's going to try and ask him about where he's been, especially because he's a little late and he doesn't really say a lot. He just tells his mom he ran into Iron Man and he actually got to see the man. But Inko is a lot more alarmed. And she doesn't at least ask if he's okay, because usually if Iron Man's around, something bad happens. And Deku just tried to talk about it. No, he saw Iron Man. Even got an autograph. Izuku not lying. And he's not too sure to tell his mom that Iron Man fell out of the sky in front of him. Because that sounds way worse. Now, Izuku, he does head up to his room. And right now, he has a lot going through his mind. He's writing up a few things. I mean, he never thought of it before, but some of that stuff he saw. Izuku currently drawing. Him doodling what he saw under the under the Iron Man armor's, armor. The actual framing, the mechanics, the sophisticated work. That thing is like the Mona Lisa of tech. I mean, compared to, God, if he had the money and funding, he can get close to that, right? I mean, near that. Maybe in time. Maybe with time he'll get there. He needs to remember every detail. If it's the same for one side, then it must be the same for the other. Now, Deku is currently trying to draw his own schematics. And right now they're actually Izuku, he does himself fall asleep. Eventually, him waking up sometime later as he does his own sit there. Him going to lean off of his desk and look up. Right now the notebook still open as he does see where he left off. The drawing is about 70% complete. Though, right. Some key details are missing. Him going to yawn. And Deku, he doesn't look up towards his computer. Right now, him going to try and type in a few things. However, there's a news article right there. He opened up the internet and it was the first page he saw. But that doesn't make sense. I mean, that can't be true. Now, Deku, he is actually trying to search online. And right now, whenever he does a search it, there's not one or two videos making this claim. It's not some fake headline. I mean, there's evidence, statements, and there's an obituary. And he just don't see it. Right now, him opening up the video that shows the news. With the news, they report in about what has happened already. Tony Stark, Iron Man, died earlier tonight. His armor had a failure, and that means quite a lot. They're still trying to collect data and find out exactly the entire thing. But from what this reporter doesn't understand, data is inconclusive. No one knows what happened to Iron Man over the last 24 hours. The only ones who may know have yet to give statements, aka Captain America and the Avengers, and possibly even S.H.I.E.L.D. So, when they do know more, they will at least report on that. And Deku's gonna watch the clip end. Him actually don't want to turn and look at a few other videos. Before there is one there of Captain America on stage trying to talk and give an announcement. And Captain America, there's that look in his face. The look on in his eyes. It's the look of somebody who's lost someone. An ally, a friend. His eyes look a little strange though. And he's not too sure. Though, from the way they are, they look a little watery. This is all real. This is insane. Now, Deku, he does something to stare on. And right now, there's definitely a lot going through his mind. However, he does get a turn. Right now, him going to try and think about what to do. He wants to head out tonight and take a walk. Maybe just get some fresh air and clear his mind. I mean, he does his best thinking whenever he walks. And that's currently where Zuko's at. He does get actually walk out of his room. Him heading out, as there actually is where he does open the door. And Izuku, he does go on a bit more of a midnight stroll. And there actually is the next day. Izuku came home. He stayed up for a few hours, and eventually the sun started to come up. He was tired, and he didn't really know what to do. However, there actually was where a vehicle came by, and currently it is to drop off a bit of a package. And Enko, whenever she saw the package, she at least did try to ask Izuku if he can go pick it up. And Deku, he went to the front door. Him currently gonna open it up as he does look down. Him gonna pick it up and see it has his name on it. However, he's not too sure why. And Deku does close the door. Him telling his mom that he's gonna be upstairs. As he's a head up, and Enko is a bit concerned. Especially because Izuku's favorite hero just died. And he clearly has been a little off. Now, Deku, he currently does get sit there on his bed, and he doesn't open the package. However, he is tired. Him currently gonna open it up and see a box. Him bending his hand down and grabbing onto it. As the moment he does actually see it, it does just glow. Him watching the dark container light up as there actually is a symbol on top of the box. It going to somewhat make a sound as this will actually open up and pop up. Now, the thing pops up and moves out of the way, and Deku just won't stare down. Him, alarmed and bringing his hand down, picking up a. What is this, a watch? Now, Deku's getting confused. However, there actually is what the watch is going to activate. An express. It is not a watch. It is a Stark Industries AI module unit. And Deku stares down at this. Wait, Stark Industries? That would be correct. Hello, my name is Friday. I've been advised by Mr. Stark to help you and be part of a directive. I'm sorry, a directive. What are you talking about? Yes, the Iron Man directive. Mr. Stark had a few things going through his head last time I interacted with him. However, there is quite a lot going on. A lot? What do you mean, a lot? That is far beyond my capability of giving you access to at this time. The only one who can allow further access would be Pepper Potts of Stark Industries. Wait, Pepper Potts? Like the lady who runs Stark Industries? No, the person who runs Stark Industries is Mr. Stark. However, as Mr. Stark refers to it as, Pepper simply keeps his seat warm. Okay, I don't really know what that means. I do not know either. I would like to further my understanding of this phrase, and if possible, collect more data. Right, right. So, I'm confused. Deku would actually put the watch on, and he's kind of surprised. Currently, Friday, going to try to inform him, as a map is going to pop up. Mr. Stark left a message, and she has been instructed to play it whenever he does put this watch on. She does want him to understand. Mr. Stark, he saw great potential, and he wanted to make a few things clear. Iron Man is not a man, he is an idea. And Deku's confused. A location gonna pop up and a set of coordinates. Before does it actually close? And Deku just don't bring his hand up. Huh? Wait, Friday, what's going on? What'd you do? I have locked the phrase. What? I'm sorry. Turn a phrase? That is, yes, that is the correct term. What are you? I am a basic learning computer, aka Step 0. Step 1 is understanding exactly what you saw, the location you may have seen on the map. The map. Now, they're just going to think, okay, coordinates in a map. Though, why? Now, they're going to walk over and sit down, as Friday does ask if he would like to hear the message Tony Stark left for him. And Deku, he doesn't bring his hand up. Uh, yes. Hey, kid. Mr. Stark? It's gonna be hard to explain. Listen, I'm going in for surgery right now. Not too sure how much of this you'll probably listen to. You're a smart kid. Not like me at all. You're smart and you're young. You're not dumb. You also understood tech pretty well. A lot. So, sorry to drop this on you. I I don't want Iron Man to die with me. Listen, I've done a lot of things and I have a lot of regrets. But I do want you to understand. Iron Man was never about just me. It was about helping people. Also, making sure the world at least has somebody on its side. I do hope you understand that. I'm leaving you a puzzle. If you can solve it, then that tells me you're as smart as I think you are. Probably smarter. I want you to find it. Whenever you do, you'll know what it is. I trust that you will. And after that, you'll be able to talk to Pepper. Don't try to call her. I know you probably have tried or may have been trying this whole time after you saw the weird thing, the fancy box. Yeah, listen. Find the answer and talk to Pepper. She'll have more information. Now, Deku, he's kind of surprised. And this time he actually tried to call Pepper Potts. However, nothing happens. She doesn't answer the phone, and Deku, he's left on his own. However, he does remember what he saw. Okay, so the map, the data coordinates, the way those. Okay, no. So it's a map, and it's somewhere in the world that they took a picture of. The coordinates there. Let's see. Okay, so those dots are buildings, they're all square. There was a certain pattern, but there's also. Hmm, okay, that massive warehouse. But how many warehouses are there out there? Okay, Digger's starting to type a few things in. And he does start to type the coordinates. Him currently looking around New York. As he does finally go to see something, he's surprised. I mean, he thinks this is the coordinates, but if it is. Deku turning, looking down at the watch on his desk. This has taken him some time. So, Friday. The watch gonna glow. Deku turning his hand and picking it up. Bringing it up, asking Friday if this is the location that she let him see. And Deku, he does just don't stare at the watch. Friday not really doing a thing, as she does try to inform him. Activation will not be given until headed to location. Destination cannot be seen. And Deku's confused. However, Friday, she does a turn off. And Deku, he does a stand up. Him gonna head off. Azenko is a bit concerned after Izuku. He spent all day in his room. Now, Deku, yeah, he's not too sure where to go. I mean, the location he has is somewhere in Manhattan. So, there's that. I mean, where is he supposed to go? That on Izuku's mind. And Deku, he does try to think. He just wants to go out for a walk tonight. And try to think on this more. So, he was given this watch, and ever since it said that thing, it hasn't activated. I mean, it still tells him the time, but he's missing something. He met Iron Man and now the guy's dead. I mean, that's just, that's challenging, difficult. But Iron Man saw something in him. So, so now what? Why did he even leave this thing for him? And that is on Izuku's mind. And Deku, he does get to head out. After thinking on it for a few days, it finally messed with him enough. And Deku, he finally gonna head down to Manhattan, where the coordinates they led him to a warehouse. And Deku wasn't too sure. The place was off limits, but whenever he got to the front gate, there was no one here. This place is old, run down, and it's it's weird. That on Izuku's mind. And Deku, he actually did go to walk around. Before there was where his watch, it beeped. Him looking up and bringing his hand up. Friday? Now, it is going to beep again, and Deku's a lot more alarmed. However, he does something to pick up on it. There's a delay, but the closer he gets, there's less and less. And eventually it's just a beep every 2 seconds. And Deku, he's trying to find the one beep. If there's a delay, then that means something. And Deku, he currently has a run around a corner. Currently, him gonna hear the beep as it a stop. Him bringing his hand up. Hello? Friday. Now, Izuku gonna turn his head. Right now, I'm gonna watch a wall gonna open up as there's stairs leading down. And Deku, he's gonna turn. Him staring at them as the wall, it does start to move back after a second. And Deku, he's gonna run down. Him going to actually run down in the facility and look around as the lights are going to light up. And Izuku, he's going to hear something odd. Him going to walk down and turn his head to see everything turn back on. And it's... Is this a lab? Deku going to walk over and look at the consoles. It's old. It's covered in dust. This is insane. Deku gonna press a button. And right now, he has to watch something gonna turn. Him gonna actually see, as there is whenever he does see something that looks like a large case. Him gonna actually watch it pop up. And he does a stare at it. As the pieces of the armor do to fall out. And Deku, he's alarmed. Him walking over and seeing... No way. Him pulling up a gauntlet. However, it looks fried. I mean, this tech, all of it, this is in horrible condition. Jesus. Him holding up the helmet. As the faceplate does a fall and smash onto his knee. And Deku, he does something to feel that. Him gonna actually walk over and put the helmet down onto the consoles. I'm gonna turn and bend down, grabbing onto the faceplate and bringing it up. As he does think, this is... He gets it. Friday? Connect to consoles. Izuku gonna walk over and turn to look around. For he's gonna see a wire, and he's gonna walk over and bend down. Him gonna actually grab onto the wire and bring it up to his watch. Him gonna get ready as he's gonna connect it. And Friday does a jump from the watch into his system. And Deku is gonna start hearing the lab power back up as Friday does start to express. Lab integrity at 20%. Power functionality at 30. And that does mean quite a bit. And Izuku, he has a turn asking Friday. So, what's going on here then? He wants answers. I mean, Tony was evasive in that message, and she just led him here. I mean, this was some sort of puzzle, right? Some sort of game? Something for him, right? Is he gonna help? I mean, he's thought about this for years. Why did Tony give him the watch? And Friday does not answer. However, a voice is started to play. And Izuku, he doesn't hear Pepper. As she does somewhat sit there for a second, and he has to see it. It's surprising. The woman sits there, her with a bit of tears in her eyes. And she does actually somewhat look down at the paper in front of her. Her setting it down. Step 2. This is step 2. It's gonna actually stop. And Deku's confused. Step 2? And that's kind of confusing, as Friday didn't try to give proper directions, since Pepper couldn't really bring herself to explain everything. However, she did at least try to give Tony's last wish something. Now, right now Deku, he's walking around and he's looking at all this tech, old tools he can use, and a few other things. And he does at least try to ask Friday if step two's repairing the Iron Man armor. Incorrect. What? Step 2, repair the armory. Repair the armor. Step 3, test out armor and go on test flight. Step 4, error. Huh? Error. What? Now, Friday does go somewhat to glitch. Going to express that Izuku should focus on step 2. And step 3, primary directives are conclusive. Test for Iron Man. And Deku, he's alarmed. Now, Deku, he does get to actually leave. However, he does come back here tomorrow. And it's kind of intriguing. He's curious about a lot of things. Getting this place back up and running and possibly seeing about the armor. But that was a bit strange. What was even weirder, though, was when he came back, the warehouse was unlocked, and there was a note on the door. And Deku, he walked over and grabbed it off of the door. Him, someone going to open the envelope as there's a key and... what is this? Deku gonna turn and stare at the old building. As is to walk over and look at the lock, which is brand new. Him opening it up, as is to pull open the warehouse, he doesn't really see newer stuff. He doesn't see anything rusty, nor old. He sees material. I mean, tools. Oh, wow. This is intriguing. Now, we do currently cut to Pepper Potts. Pepper, she is grieving Tony Stark. Tony, he had this crazy idea before he died. And she tried to tell him it was crazy. She tried to tell him that it wasn't good and it wasn't possible. But he had hope. He wanted to see his legacy continue. Tony's many things. He can be a piece of shit. But call him what you will. Somewhere deep down, there was a heart. He had one. He may not have been, well, she isn't how to really classify him. Now, Pepper is concerned. What if this doesn't work out? What if the kid runs from this idea? He said he saw the kid, and he was good with tech, he was good with materials. Whenever they were talking, the kid said he wanted to be just like him. And Tony, he hopes he made the right choice. That's all she's saying. Her gonna actually somewhat turn and grab onto the container. Her gonna actually pour an old bottle of whiskey. Thinking about how the first time she met Tony, he was drinking this. And he was also, what? Drunk off of his ass? That was a funny first day. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed.